I'm your host, Curtis, with
And I'm RJ Horner.
Right on RJ. All right, welcome to another great podcast here. And today we're going to talk about uh, how to. What was the thing again? Hold on, let me go over here. I'm going to push this other button. Give me a second. How to break the cycle uh, and how you can overcome learning and growth stagnation. There we go. Sec. Go back here. Sorry, I'm trying to do some stuff different this time to get it a little more interesting visually. Please don't mind. All right. So let's set the scene. It's 10 a.m. The house is finally quiet. You've cleaned up from dinner, wrestled the kids to bed, maybe answered a few late emails, and now you want to read that book, or finish that course you started 6 months ago. You want to do something that feels like growth, but your brain is fried, and Netflix or Instagram is whispering your name. If this is you, you're in the right place. Today we're talking about learning and growth stagnation. That feeling of being stuck, of wanting to develop yourself but lack the time or energy to do it. It's common, it's real, and we're going to talk about that, why it happens, and how importantly, and how to gently, realistically shift things into your favor. So grab your coffee, tea, or just take a deep breath. Let's unpack this together. All right, let's get into this, RJ.
Yep.
So let's be honest. As a parent, life doesn't stop. From the moment you wake up to the moment your head hits the pillow, you're managing logistics, emotions, schedules, and messes, often all at once. The world expects you to be superhuman, and honestly, you've been doing a pretty amazing job just keeping everything afloat. But here's the catch. We're always in survival mode and there's no space left to grow. You stop reading, you stop exploring new ideas, you lose that spark that you made. Well, that isn't because you've given up, it's because your bandwidth is gone. Sound familiar? Have you ever felt like this,
Absolutely.
RJ?
Yep. Yep. Look, even still, like I've done some things to change this, or break the cycle as we're talking about, and
Yep.
yet still, complications, especially like energy at the end of a long, hard day with everything
Yep.
you've dealt with, that still is a problem.
hmm Yeah, like in Thursday, you were like super tired. Remember that? And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're supposed to do another thing for other job, for the leadership thing. And you're like, I'm too tired tonight. I gotta go to sleep. Like that's fair enough, right? Like
I
you
was
need break.
already I was already in bed by the time I got my notification. It was like, "Oh, wait. Oh, man. All right, I'll have to send a message."
Yep, yeah, it's fair enough. I understand. It's like, damn, it's like I'm so tired today. Maybe I don't want to do this, right?
And it can happen to all of us, right?
Oh, absolutely. All right, let's move forward here. There are a few culprits behind the learning slump. Let's walk through them quickly. First, mental overload. Your brain is maxed out from handling 1,000 tiny decisions every single day. When you're managing other people's lives, from kids to partners, it leaves little room for curiosity or creative. Have you ever had mental overload, RJ?
Oh, who hasn't, right?
Yeah.
Listen, um, we get frustrated. We just got so much to manage on our lives that
Yep.
eventually it can get into overload, and nothing we can do about it. All we can do is manage it and hope we don't burn out.
Absolutely. Let's move on. The second one would be time poverty. You have time, but it's scattered, interrupted, unpredictable, and when the rare quiet moment shows up, you're just too tired to
Hmm.
use any of it for anything productive. I also
Hmm.
sometimes find that social media will suck a lot of your time up, and then it's like,
Absolutely.
what the hell am I doing?
Or TV, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
TV show
that
or
favorite
something.
show
Yep.
calls to us, and it's a lot of times, you just don't have the energy or the bandwidth to get productive at this kind of 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Third, guilt and perfectionism. You finally open that book, pardon me, and that voice whisper says, "Shouldn't you be doing the laundry?" Or "You don't have an hour to read. You'll never finish it anyway." So you close the book, and the cycle repeats.
Hmm.
Yeah, sir. So sometimes I think it just maybe shorten the time period of doing something. Something reading for an hour, how about like 10 minutes?
Hmm.
Give yourself something. So hey, I've done something. I told myself I'll do this, even though it's not the full amount, but you got something done. So you kind of accomplishing something that you feel okay. I did some reading today, so I feel better than if I did none. Right.
Yeah.
All right. The fourth one is loss identity. Before kids, you were ambitious, curious, maybe even a little spontaneous. Now you might feel like you've become a human calendar app or walking snack dispenser. The things you loved, they faded into the background. And that really hurts, quietly but deeply. Did you have any of those when you're growing up with the kids there, RJ?
You
When you were
know,
younger?
I think again, you're trying to manage everything as a parent. Um, and then when do you find time for yourself? I think that's the real problem there is, trying to find that time for yourself. So I
Hmm.
think we're going to get into some solutions here, right?
Yep, yep. Some of it we've done before, but this new stuff I figured out. But also, I find that a lot of times you just have that need to take care of your children first rather than yourself.
Absolutely.
But I think the airport idea of the safety of airports, put your oxygen mask on first is very key.
For sure, because otherwise we get into that stress, that aggravation mode, right?
Yep,
Sometimes we don't even realize it's coming on. But if we take those times for self-care, we're
yep,
going to be better suited to handle whatever situations arise for ourselves and our children.
yep, for sure. All right, let's move along. So, small, realistic solutions that actually work. Okay, so now that we've named the monster, how do we deal with it? First idea: reframe growth as essential, not a luxury.
Hmm.
Learning isn't selfish; it's how we stay grounded, sharp, and emotionally fueled. When you take 5 minutes to listen to a podcast or read from a book, you're not stealing time from your family. You're investing in a better version of yourself for your family. So I think that's a pretty cool idea, right?
Hmm. And that's the thing. So we can put it in a calendar. We can prioritize it so that we learn that this is something that has to become a part of my life, part of my
Yep,
daily routine. Setting calendars or blocking aside time for self care, for
right
reading,
on.
for growth and development. I think that one's a key. I love what I call auto university. Look, we all commute to work, or most of us do. Um, so, taking that 30 minutes on the ride home, plugging in your favorite podcast or an audio book and taking the information from that. And then, of course, don't forget to apply what you learned.
Absolutely. That's good stuff. Right, number two, thinking small. I mean, really small. Forget the idea that you need a whole hour to grow when you can do it in 5 minutes. One page, one video, you can learn a new word, pick up a fresh parenting tip, or just hear something that makes you think. I know a mom, let's call her Julia, who listens to a 2 minute personal development podcast every morning while brushing her teeth. That's it. But just after 2 weeks, she's felt more inspired and more herself. So that was just like you say, auto university, same idea as this. Just like have something that you like and just spend you're stacking your habit time, right?
Hmm.
So you brush your teeth, listen to podcasts or whatever.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then, so, and I think what we're talking about here is microbursts, right? Just doing things in small doses,
Yep.
but doing them enough. You know what I mean? 5-minute workouts 5 times a day can change your physical health.
Yep. Yep. Those little hit workouts, right?
Yeah,
Perfect.
or even just stretching. You know what I mean? You're
Yep.
you're you're sitting there watching TV. How about doing some stretching in front of the TV? How
Yep.
about doing some crunches or some
Push ups or something.
yeah, exactly.
Well, they have chair yoga. Have you heard about that before?
Yep, I'm trying to
Yeah.
get into that myself.
Yeah. So you probably
I'm
sit
an
at a desk.
I'm an
Yeah.
older man at this point. I have to figure out how to get active and still remain like within my physical abilities.
Right. Well, the chair yoga works. If you're at a desk and stuff, there's little things you do that will help get your body moving a little bit so you're not like just one spot all day.
Hmm.
And even just like go and walk for your lunch or something. That helps people too sometimes. All right, moving forward here. The third one would be stack new habits onto old routines, which kind of touched on this already. You're already doing things on autopilot, brushing teeth, making coffee, driving to daycare. What if you use those built in routines as clues for a tiny learning ritual? For
Hmm.
example, morning drive, short podcast. Making dinner, TED Talk in the background. Perfect. Waiting in the car line, read an article. These aren't new blocks of time. They're still the moments that we can reclaim. So I think this is a great idea. I know I try to do it when I'm driving to work. I'll listen to either one of my audiobooks generally, or let's say there's a video or a learning video I wanted to learn something. I'll listen to it in the car as a
Hmm.
pre-understanding what's happening, and then I'll redo it again, right? So something like a
Yeah.
half an hour or so, easy drive, and you subconsciously pick it up, and then we go back to look at it again. It really helps out, right? Like, oh yeah, I remember this or I remember that. Like, it's great.
Yeah, and I always have my tablet with me with Wi-Fi access. Whether you can get Wi-Fi, some people can get Wi-Fi, wherever you're
Yep.
going, at the doctor's office or to the mall or something like that. You can
Yep.
usually get Wi-Fi access.
Yep.
So take those 5 minutes or 10 minutes when you're waiting, to see the doctor. Um,
Yep.
like or waiting for your wife while she's shopping, right? So
Sure.
there are moments that you can reclaim, and I like this concept.
Yep. Actually, with the phones nowadays, they're pretty powerful, so you can do all sorts
Yeah,
of
I
things,
always
right?
say we carry a computer in our pocket.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Number four, the identity reset. Let's talk about identity for a second. One of the hardest things about becoming a parent is watching your old self get blurred. But the cool thing is, you can reconnect to that version of you. You don't have to become a new person to grow. You just have to find your own curiosity again. Here's a fun idea. Pick a monthly theme. Maybe July is photography month. So every week you watch one short YouTube video about taking pictures. You don't do anything else, just explore. And August could be storytelling, and you read articles or journal memories. No pressure, no grades, just curiosity. It's not about productivity, it's about rediscovering. So what do you think about that,
I
RJ?
love this one. This is a great technique that I listen. I learn from things here when we do these podcasts, right?
Yep,
Here's one that I can use. I pick a theme for every year, right?
yep,
I'll pick growth, empowerment, something like that. Instead of doing a what do you call them, resolution at the end of the
yep.
year. I'm gonna start going to the gym. Oh, I'm gonna
Hmm.
start earning more money. um I pick a theme for the year and then I follow that theme. So starting to break them down into monthly activities where you focus for 30 days
Yep.
on this one activity, that's a great one. I love this.
Perfect. Excellent. I like that one. All right. Number five here. Let the kids see you learn. This is a huge one. Kids watch everything we do, right?
Hmm.
When they see you read, ask questions, or take courses, they internalize the learning doesn't end with school, and that's powerful. Make it a family culture. Read while they do homework. Watch documentaries together. Start a 15-minute quiet curiosity time after dinner where everyone reads or draws or just thinks. Just not growing, you are learning by or leading by example.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
this
you
is
do this, right? You do
yep,
this in your own home. You and
yep,
you and your wife with London. You're always creating activities to keep it
hmm
interesting, inspiring, but also that you're learning something new all the time. I think if you
yep,
make that the habit, stressing that it's not like more learning. You know what I mean? I go to school all day and I got to come home. I got to learn more. Look, life is about learning. If we
yep,
continually stress that idea, and not stress it, but continually reinforce that idea that look, even now, as you know, we're in our or well we're in our later ages,
hmm
we're still learning, we're still picking up new things, right? So
yep,
our kids can
yep,
pick
for
up
sure.
that as well.
Yeah, I find with us, I cook a lot, and my wife cooks a little bit, so my daughter started learning how to cook a bit. So we'll show her how to do a couple things. Something in the microwave. She now can fry scrambled eggs. She loves it. Her favorite part is cracking the eggs. So if I'm making breakfast in the morning, she'll come, "Oh, let me crack the eggs for you, Dad." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead. Help out. It's good stuff."
Absolutely. Listen, the earlier that we can break that or build these habits, the better. And
Yep.
cooking is a skill that, for whatever reason, parents always do the cooking. So by the time they grow to adult age, they don't cook very well, right?
What
So.
no, or they don't have any idea. But yeah, I just like you said, the leading by example and just involving the children really makes a difference.
Mhm.
All right. All right, community and grace is the number six here. And finally, don't go it alone. You're not the only parent struggling with this. Join a Facebook group like ours, the hardworking parents. Text your friend your weekly goal. Create each other's micro wins. So just get a friend that you might know and just say, "Listen, I'm doing this. What are you doing?" And then maybe like have a little competition or a little, like a little friendly like thing, right?
Yeah, challenge. You know
Yeah,
what?
challenge.
We challenge each other. Part of accountability, right? You have
Hmm.
somebody else you have to answer to or own up to, so that they can keep you charged or keep you motivated.
Yep, yep, for sure. Also, give yourself some grace. Some weeks will be messier than others. You'll miss a day or five. That's okay. You're not behind. You're a work in progress, like we all are. Just make sure
Mhm,
you know what you want. You write it down, and you look at it every day, right? So if you have a
mhm.
goal, know your goal. Like if you're losing, let's say you're gonna lose weight, you want to lose like 2, 3 pounds. Say, hey, it's my goal. Hey, sometimes you might be there, sometimes you're not, right? Just gotta
Right.
make sure that you stay on track and you know what your goal is. Like a lot of times you don't look at your goal and you forget it because our minds trick us, right? So if you write it
And
down,
so
you'll get it done.
We have a gift as human beings where every day, every moment, we can start something new, right?
Yep.
Every day could be a day one. We're always saying, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that. But every day could be a day one, right? Start something new, start it to happening. Oh, you missed 4 days. Okay, we're going back to day one and we're getting back into this.
Yep. Yep. For sure. All right. So let's see the end of this. So, friend, if you've been stuck, unmotivated, like the spark of who are you, where you were fading, you're not broken, you're not lazy, you're just tired. But that spark is still there, waiting, ready to grow again. Start with 5 minutes, one page, one podcast. Listen to our podcast weekly on Sundays.
Mhm.
One breath, you've got this. And I am rooting for you every step of the way.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys, for spending time with the Hardworking Parents podcast today. I hope this episode resonates with you. Please share it with a friend, leave a review or a comment. It depends on where you're watching. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Hardworking Parents Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And of course, ring that bell so when we go live, you know that we're here. And until next time, keep growing and don't be guilty about the things you choose. Anything you would like to say, RJ?
Listen, keep growing, keep learning. That's what I believe in. Every day is about growth and experience.
Perfect. Excellent, RJ. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. We'll end the video here.